Mabel.
I'm Harper.
So glad you're here. I would say the performers tonight have moved me beyond words my whole life. I've met most of them today. Mabel's one of them. I'm gonna do stand-up later. The last time that I did stand-up, I was studying abroad in Italy, and I went to this weird Italian mic where things did not translate, and it was not the issue of the language barrier. And after the mic, an Italian man came up to me and he goes, "Your stand-up is so specific." So I think Harper and I are gonna promise you some specific humor tonight. Okay, so do you know anything about our first performer?
I met our first performer a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we talked a couple times.
Yeah, that. I would say, okay, we're gonna see 5 comics and we're gonna see improv, but, okay, so our first comic, okay, so we have a cat in my house. My roommate's name is Kat, K-A-T. We have a cat named Mabel. My name is Mabel. So I met this first performer a couple weeks ago when they came to meet my roommate's cat named Kat. Please welcome to the stage, Eli.
Emotionally stable people. I don't know what it is, they aren't attracted to me. I do, however, attract a lot of emotionally unstable people, not entirely sure why, except that I think I might be a little emotionally unstable myself. I mean, just a little. I mean, okay, I did try to go skydiving without a parachute once, but Yeah, laugh at me for trying to kill myself. Yeah! So, with that in mind, let me tell you a bit about my ex-girlfriend, Jen. One person's on my side in this breakup. Jen is a trust fund kid from Long Island who always talks like this. She was a bit out of touch, and by that I mean one time she asked me, "Are you on financial aid?" And when I said yes, she thought that I was literally an orphan in a Charles Dickens novel. Like just that level of destitution. Yeah, so she broke up with me on Valentine's Day, and that would be the end of the story. It would, until she walked into my life once again, about a year ago while I was running Theater 24. Who's done Theater 24? It's a great experience. Yes, every quarter theater festival, little marathon where you write, rehearse, and then perform a play in a span of 24 hours. It's great, involves a lot of sleep deprivation. Anyway, she walks in, she says to me, "Can I bring my sword?" I'm a bit confused. I'm not entirely sure what she means by sword. Your what? My sword! Can I bring my sword? Like a metal sword? Is it made out of metal, Jen? Yeah? Is it sharp? It's like a really dull knife. Where the hell do you even... No, where do you even get an actual metal sword? eBay! I got it on eBay! she was an actor, so we were trying to help the writers write little parts for them. So she starts off, "Hi, my name is Jen. I'm a 4th year. I'm really clumsy. I'm always knocking things over, and anyways, I want to bring my sword. And these fucking curators are so mean because they will not let me bring my sword. Look at them. Look at how evil they are. Fucking tyrants. Raise your hand if you think I should be allowed to bring my sword." So when this actually happened, there were a couple of hands raised as well, so congratulations, you helped me recreate the scene. So I'm just there like, no, what the fuck? No, you can't. Please let me bring my sword. Please let me bring my sword. So the university has something called a weapons policy, Jen. You know that, right? You know I can't let you bring a sword into Logan. It's not a weapon, it's a sword! I think what I've learned here is it's a bad day when I have to be the emotionally stable person. So enjoy the show, which sadly will not contain a single sword, I don't think. Maybe it will, maybe it will. Also, one more thing. I'm currently single, so if you're an emotionally unstable woman, my phone number is 773-383-4339. Let me say that again. It's 773-383-4339.
I know some toxic Jens. My friend is in the audience tonight, my stepmother, named Jen, and she's all nice. Which one of you is that? It's not her.
Are we talking about gens?
Yeah.
All the gens I know are pretty good.
Okay. Alright, will you introduce our next performer?
Yes. Our next performer, I'm gonna hold the mic also. Our next performer is one of the coolest guys you'll ever meet. No, I know. This is his stand-up debut, but you'll never know it because he kind of seems like the kind of guy who was born to be up here. Okay, more compliments. I don't know him so well, but he seems really cool. We met a bit ago. His name's Jeff, so give it up for Jeff.
I came here a few years ago to go to college, but this is not a story from college. I want to tell you a story from my summer job. I work at a summer camp based on the Percy Jackson series of books. Have any of you read those books or maybe seen the movies? Alright, so the rest of you, you might just have to be along for the ride for this because you need some context. But basically, in the reality of this summer camp, I'm the counselor of the Demeter cabin, and Demeter is the goddess of the harvest in Greek mythology, if you don't know. So in terms of superpowers, that means I can cast sticky grass and I can talk to plants, and these are both very, very valuable skills in the demigod world. At this summer camp, we have to put together little quests for the kids to do, right? And on this week, it was the last week of camp, I had a cabin full of 9-year-olds. They're all 9-year-olds. So I'm like, okay, I can't scare these kids. I don't want to do anything too weird. Let's create something whimsical and fun. And so my friend Julian was also a son of Demeter, but he was just a CIT that week. And we put together a quest where basically the kids had to discover this mysterious plant that was like a bulbous, pulsating plant that was growing in the woods of the state park where we did this summer camp, okay? Are you still following the context of this? There's like a lot. Okay. So, bulbous plants out there, we're sending the kids on the mission. We've put weird little what's the word? everywhere. Like, we put little auspicious plants all around the area. So, and then we took one of these bouncy balls, we hollowed it out and put a flashlight in it, and then we surrounded it in a cabbage. So the flashlight would give it the appearance of pulsating, and also no cabbages grew in the wild, so it like stuck out. But anyway, we designed this quest, so it took a long time for the kids to find this. And finally, I've got a group of 8, 9-year-olds, and I'm like, run, go find it, right? And there's this one little kid named Hudson, who is not actually 9, he's 8, but his parents lied to get him into the camp. And I said, fine, because Hudson was a chiller. And Hudson he was like half my height, huge Lion King fan, and he would always ask me to lift him up, like in the rock scene in the Lion King, and sing Circle of Life to him, which I, of course, would oblige, because, like, come on, you gotta take that opportunity. All right, anyway, Hudson aside, all the kids are looking for the plants. They're finding all kinds of stuff, poison ivy, whatever, and finally, Hudson himself comes across the plant, and he goes, Jeff, I think I found it, it's right here, and I'm like, Hudson, did you? And then it's like, yes, he did. And it's like, yes, because if one of my more obnoxious kids had found it, they would lord it over poor young Hudson. But since Hudson found it, he was the winner, right? So I go down there with Hudson, and I'm like, what do you want me to do? And he's like, talk to the plant. And I'm like, okay. So I kneel down, I kind of take my own pulse, and then I take its pulse to sync us up, of course. And then I just sort of like, okay, man, how you doing down here? And then I react as if it's saying something to me when it's not, and we have a full conversation, and I'm like, all right, Hudson, we're gonna take the plant back to camp. And Hudson's like, okay. And so I carry it along with Hudson, and then I'm like, Hudson, you gotta be very careful. You can't like mess with it or it'll lose the magic and the flashlight will fall out. And so mostly I'm cradling it and carrying it back to camp. I get back to camp and all the kids are surrounding it, and I'm like, okay, look, this is what Hudson found. It's the greatest plant I've ever seen, and I'm the son of the goddess of plants, so like this is incredible. And Hudson's like, can I talk to the plant? And I'm like, yeah, let's see what happens. And Hudson, just like I knelt, he kneels down, he takes his own pulse, he takes the pulse of the plant to sync him up, of course, and he says, okay. And then he stands up. And I said, Hudson, what'd the plant say to you? And Hudson said, it said, nice to meet you, Dragon King. And that's where that story goes. And then I had the kids, all hail the Dragon King, and we carried him on my shoulders because he's a very carryable kid, and then we called it a day, sent them home, and Hudson turned 9 the next summer, and he was there legally, and the Dragon King returned. We got to see that in part 2. Thank you very much.
I went to a Percy Jackson Q&A with author Rick Riordan at 10 years old. Do you like the Percy Jackson books?
I did.
Okay, our next performer, I would say I see her across the hall every day because she's my roommate. Is that tracking? How would I describe her? I would say, and I asked her if I could say this, and she said yes, I would say she is the biggest ass of all our performers tonight. Please welcome Ray Friedman.
Thank you, Abel. That's really nice. Everyone, I'm Bri, as you just heard. If you don't know me already, here's what you need to know, okay? I'm 22 years old. I'm from Los Angeles, which means I'm bisexual and really annoying about it. I'm the oldest of 3. What else? Oh, a little over a year ago, I had a fully fledged nervous psychotic breakdown and lost control of my legs. I know what you're thinking, though, and you're thinking, you're bisexual? No, for real though, I'm crazy. Yeah, I'm crazy. crazy that men like to paint their ex-girlfriends as when she like finds out he's been cheating on her for 2.5 years and decides to slash his tire? No. I'm talking about the type of crazy where when people enter my bedroom for the first time, they cannot help but ask me, Ray, why is all of CVS Pharmacy on your bedside table? And then I have to be like, oh no, don't worry, that's just my cocktail. They're like, cocktail? And I'm like, yeah. It's a double amphetamine with a splasher 5 of SSRI and a benzo to garnish it off so that I can see my leg. A cocktail. I do wish I could be like a regular alcoholic though, but don't worry, I'm working on it. The only issue is that I'm allergic to alcohol, thank you Mom. So anytime I drink anything, my body breaks out into these these hives all over my body. It's so ugly. I look like a little boy who's just been forced to run the mile. But I've been reading the news. It seems like alcoholism, substance abuse issues, addiction, works well for some people. So my goal is that by 2025, I'm hoping to be, married to Olivia Munn, expecting a child, something like that. In all seriousness though, those meds did save my life. I always knew that not sleeping for the better half of a decade would catch up to me, but what I didn't know was that the biggest consequence would be my biggest irrational fear, like actually coming true. So let me explain. For as long as I can remember, I've been so terrified of losing my legs in some type of tragic accident. The accident itself doesn't really matter that much. It could be like a shark attack, car accident, like war. My therapist has her theories about this fear of mine. She's like, Ray, honey, this fear of losing your legs is clearly symbolic of your fear of losing control ever since you were a child, your legs, that's how you get from place to place, that's how you interact with the world. And I'm like, okay, no, Deborah. I'm scared of losing my legs because I think that would really fucking hurt, that seems like it would be really painful. But to my surprise, when I actually did lose my legs, it wasn't painful. And I will never forget it. It started with a tingling at my toes that worked its way up my legs all the way to my waist. And I was really confused. I'm like, am I having a fucking orgasm right now? What? Because I don't have that much to go off of, I don't really know what that feels like because none of my past partners had ever made me come. It was tragic. And they always have the same excuse. It goes something like, no, dude, Ray, I'm really sorry. It's just it's really hard to find the clit, what the female orgasm is. And I'm like, well, is it really that hard? Because I just did it in my mind, so it can't be that hard. I did, I'm not stupid. I knew something was wrong. My mom was taking care of me at the time, so I was like, I should probably go tell her. She's in the next room, so go to tell her. Fuck! It's happened, and that is when I realized that my psychotic state had linked itself to this fear of mine. Life really comes at you fast, one day you're living it up, having the time of your life at the University of Chicago. And the next you're in your hometown on a medical leave of absence at your local Starbucks, having to literally just to get your iced caramel macchiato. It's stimulating. So humiliating. But ultimately, nothing could be as humiliating as coping with your biggest trauma with college comedy. So.
What did you think of Ray's set?
I think it's cool that Ray is bisexual.
Okay. I don't like that word, or I don't do it, but I will point out that there's someone in the audience reading a book, and I'm not going to point at them, but I think that is awesome. Okay.
really hard. One fun fact about him, I just met him, and he said that I should say one fun fact about him, is his mom was born in 1969, which is the year of the moon landing. After the show, I'm probably going to ask him where he bought his sweater. Give it up for Simon.
Hi. Wow, you guys are a pretty high quality crowd. Yeah. This is a pretty high quality building too. I'm a big fan of, I don't know if you guys in the back can see it, but there's a kind of 18th century window thing up there. I'm a big fan of that. I went up there earlier, and my dead great grandma is in there. Yeah, I'm sorry. I did this yesterday, and it's all the same shit. So I'm sorry if you were there yesterday. I know one person. Okay, the overlap is one. Yeah, but I'm not one of those like pro comedians with more than 2 minutes of material. Okay, so I'm gonna start by talking about me in the shower. When I'm in the shower and there's other people around in the bathroom, not in the stall, but I like to kind of like gather like a bunch of water in the crook of my arm until there's like a good like well in there, and then I like let it go. It makes like a really loud splash, and like it totally sounds like something major just exited my body. That's all I have about me in the shower. Now I'm going to talk about how good I am at things. Okay. I have a lot of talents. This is because I never in my life have placed all my words on grades instead of developing a multitude of interests and becoming a well-rounded person. So here's a list of my talents. Number 1, avoiding snake bites. So I know that this is hard to believe, but I haven't been bitten by snakes. Number 2, picking music that really violently sets off the current vibes. I'm so good at this that I can't do the opposite. Number 3, I can name any Geometry Dash song from the first couple notes. Yeah. So that was a lie, but I could do it. Number 4 is not having children. Oh, you guys probably have the joke, but for this one, all my thanks and credit goes to not having sex. Okay. Number 5, eating an entire bag of frozen peas raw in one sitting. I have not gone to 2 yet, but I think I can. Number 6, tolerating Ed Sheeran. Sorry, that one was on my list of incapabilities. Number 7 is spiraling, the physical one. But I can do it better in a tornado, and spiraling, the mental one. Number 8 is using men's bathrooms. I went to the men's bathroom in the reg recently, and I was really scared because it was super crowded. I was like, I'm gonna get caught, but then I remembered that my first men's bathrooms experience was in a Rammstein concert. But if you're not aware what that is, it's all like burly men who are 2 tattoos away from a motorcycle. My friend Tommy and I walk in here, it's empty. I'm terrified. I go in the stall. The moment the pee started like leaving my body, it was full. It was just completely stall stopped. Your mind was loaded, and I walked out of there. And I was like, oh yeah, sorry, my dad's picking me up to go home for bedtime. And I lived. So, at the reg, like, and so the reg bathrooms, like that's nothing. That's you Chicago men, you know. Like, what are they gonna do? They're gonna misquote Aristotle? My ninth talent is friendship bracelets, but if they're complicated. So I want to round this out with a fun anecdote, stand-up comedian style. I'm trans and gay, which is why you're like seeing what you're seeing right now. And on Monday I got my first testosterone shot. I wanted, and I said cherry, and she said, cool, that's fine, and then she put some red syrup in it, and then she pricked the needle in my body, and my entire body went neon, and it blacked out. And now I can only pee purple. I guess Dr. Jordan Peterson was right. Thank you, everyone.
That's a really cool anecdote. And our next comedian is our last. But thank you. But don't be that sad because we got more stuff coming after that. No, I know. She's the most ethereal woman in the whole world, and you're gonna know exactly what I mean when she comes on stage because you've already seen her before. It's Mabel.
Things. Number one is dating. Number two is tetanus. And the two things are actually more related than you might think because I'm a hypochondriac. So dating me is like signing up for like an ongoing conversation about if the metal that my arm brushed against earlier that day had rust on it or not. Okay, so like I would say dating a hypochondriac is a dream in the sense that like I'll be kissing my boyfriend and it'll be super romantic, like really a fine balance between romantic and sexy. It's kind of hard to land, and then I'll come back for a second, and then like put my like hair behind my ear, and then I'll be like, purse my lips and be like, do you think the Chicago water has lead in it or not? Yeah, so metals of all kind are a great fear for me, and that's why I love going to the doctor every year, because I love getting the tetanus vaccine, and that's actually, according to the CDC, if you go by those rules, only something you can get one every 10 years. But I love to re-up my subscription every single year. You know who does not love that? My doctor. Because he's like, I'm not gonna do that. You may have read about this fight on the Daily Mail actually, because it got pretty bad last year when I was at the doctor and I was like, please give me a tetanus shot. And he was like, Mabel, I gave it to you last year. And I just like thought that was pretty generous. Like when someone comes to my house and they ask for water, like I give them water. And so, whatever, like I beg him, I'm like, Dr. Maltucci, please give me a tetanus shot. And he's like, I have to wait until you're older. And then it got me thinking, like, age is just a number. And that's something I find myself thinking about a lot because I'm in an age gap relationship. Okay, so I'm 21, he's 29. Hey, thank you all for coming. And so to put things in perspective, I was born 7 months before 9/11, and he was old enough to have done it. Literally hates age gap relationships. No, okay. But it's not that bad. Like, if you think about it, 21, 29, he's literally one tetanus year older than me. Okay, so people really don't like age gap relationships. Like, the internet has a lot to say about it. And also, someone that has a lot to say about my age gap relationship is his ex-girlfriend. So in this day and age, it's like really hard. It's really easy to stalk your partner's ex online. So it's like Instagram, Facebook, Feeling Frisky, Venmo. Yeah. I prefer something more highbrow. She's a voiceover artist and has 4 full-length audiobooks available on Audible now. And so when I'm feeling highbrow, self-destructive, I'll just throw on one of her audiobooks, scroll through her Instagram while listening to her read The Way of Beauty by Camille DeMaio. And it's not a joke. One Audible listener reviewed her narrating that book. They wrote, free, but waste of 11 hours. Yeah, so anyway, Meredith, listening to the ex-girlfriend, she's not like her age gap relationship. I think like my boyfriend and Meredith had had like a catch-up call recently. They hadn't spoken in years. And so my boyfriend told her he was in this relationship, blah, blah, blah. And at some point on the call, she referred to me as my boyfriend's quote-unquote Lolita. Literally, if you thought that was the bad part of the story, get ready, folks. So I'm listening to an audiobook one day. I'm scrolling through. I'm going the way of the plebeians. I'm on Venmo. I'm looking at our Venmo. My thumb hits add friend. Light as a feather. I untouch it. She's not gonna notice. Not gonna notice. And so, think she's fine, whatever. 3 hours later, I get a notification on my phone. I look down. It said, Meredith Starkman has paid you $1. And then I looked at the caption, and the caption was, happens to the best of us. Okay, don't take her side. No, I think that was clever, and it made me angry because it's so good. So I was like, okay, I gotta come up with something good as well. So, sit on it for a few hours, and then I comment back. It's not gonna make sense at first, okay? But I comment back, ha. And the rest is rust and stardust. Does anyone know where those lines come from? Maybe the man that's reading the book. I'm so sorry, I love ya. Okay, yeah, and the rest is rust and stardust are the closing lines of Nabokov's Lolita. So, what's the moral of this story? We should take away phones from women. We should take away books from women. And they can't make literary references in the comment section of a Venmo transaction. We should take away money from women, bank accounts. Okay, so do it. Okay, I will say that. So, internet has a lot to say, Meredith has a lot to say, and I just think people are wrong for my case. My age gap relationship feels like a good one. So I think a lot of the criticism is overhyped. I will say that the people are right on one accord, which is like, when it's a Saturday night, and at 6:30 p.m., he's going to light bites and drinks at Joel and Stephanie's, and I'm going to some guy named Jake's sexy emoji party. The ocean between us feels vast. Joel and Stephanie's kid is waking up in its crib for the 3rd time before I've decided if I'm going a sexy cowboy or a sexy pea snap. And Joel and Stephanie were officiated by Michelle Obama when they got married. Look it up, it's not a joke. Okay, but so on this one night, sexy emoji and light nights and drinks, I actually did end up going to both because one was at 6:30 and one was at 11:30. And I could spend a lot more time with you up here talking about what it was like, but I'll say this. At Light Bites and Drinks with Joel and Stephanie, half of the room was pregnant. And at Jake's sexy emoji party, half of the room was the pregnant